Hi, I'm Luke from the Batemans Bay Open Men's Crew, sitting here with our sweet Neil, stroke Wayne, second stroke Brendan, second bow Mick, and I'm up in the bow. And we're just going to watch our state final, which we placed first in. So let's have a look.
It's very hard on the starter to try and give everyone an even break. But as you see, the crews have jumped out of the blocks there now, and the first 10 to 15 strokes, most crews try to use as much energy as they can and get the boat moving. But it's crucial that you stick to your game plan after you've gone through the break and know when to try and settle the rhythm. A lot of crews will get in a final and row to a different game plan to what they normally row, and rate to the crews beside them and that sort of thing. So as you can see there, BUOY's slowly working through on us there. They keep the rate a little bit higher than most crews through the midsection of the race. And if you go with them, sometimes you can tank yourself too early and not have anything to come home with. So for us, we look at trying to hold the energy systems how we've trained to it.
Yeah, and Neil's exactly right there. We tend not to try and spend ourselves, going to sea.
One of those things, you're not rewarded first place for getting first to the can, are you? So
it's one of those things you got to look at it, try and hold it so you got some energy. And you can see the crews coming up to the can here now, and you'll find that the crews that did take a bit of water on the beach have used a lot of energy to try and get back into the race. And for the back end of the race, that makes it hard for them because they've expelled that energy to come back into the race, and all of a sudden you're turning out of the can and find yourself a couple of boat lengths behind. Now you'll notice there's a bit of movement in the water here now, and this is where as a crew you've got to have that little bit of energy left to try and attack anything that's available for the boat. See your lure shunting ahead there trying to chase that bit of movement, and now you notice us and BUOY attacking that bit of movement in the water, and the boys, they're rating probably double what they do going to sea, and they don't let it back away. They're going to keep chasing all the way. And here's where Wayne's forte comes into play, on how to hold his own.
Yeah, that first run we got there, that was a crucial part, holding that run. So it set us up for this bit here we're catching now. I think if we backed off a little bit early there on that last one, we wouldn't have had the positioning to actually come down that next runner. We would have actually let it slip underneath us, and we would have been back with BUOY. But yeah, it worked out well for us.
we're just riding the wave at the moment.
Trying to get there.
They're going to trade the sweep in. They reckon they've got a better sweep somewhere.
Bit of deja vu there. We didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
It's just good that we could sort of sit on a bit of a bubble and just keep pressuring up, and lucky enough we held our nerve and we were able to cross over in first, which was great.
It was a bit shaky there when we went sideways. We didn't know what was going to happen behind us. But it's good that we come through with a win.
Okay, so while we're lined up here, you can see that a lot of the crews are pushing the boat out into the broken water and then moving back so they don't fill the boat up before the shore dumps into it. And you use a lot of energy up and a lot of nerves too. It's really hard for the crews to hold their nerve while they're shunting the boat forward and back. Just you'll see here's a good example. Lift the boat up through it, then maybe pull it back a little bit before the next one, and all of a sudden the flag goes up and you're finding that you might be pulling the boat back and putting the boys out of position, but it's really important that you hold your position, hold your nerve. You can see the crews just really working to hold that boat there. Now when they hit the chocks, that first couple of strokes is so critical. If you have someone flop in the boat or crab or anything, that half a boat length is really just pulls you back out of the race and use so much energy for the rest of the race to come back into it.
I think the main part for the rower is being ready to go. We've been caught out before, like we did down at the ASRL Open, was that we weren't on our game and ready to jump in straight away. So we took a lot away from that, and from that we learnt that when the gun goes up, it's go time. No matter what's in front of you, if the boat's up around your chin, bad luck, you got to get in and go. So I think a lot of crews miss out that way, especially off the starting A's, because once there's a crew out in front, good luck rowing them down. There's only a couple of crews that can do that, and lucky enough that we all hit our chocks at the same time and got away pretty sweet.
So coming into the cans as a sweeps perspective, you're always trying to get yourself lined up to the can, hopefully to come in, and as you're calling it in, our call is 5 in, getting close, get ready and buoy. But it doesn't always work out that way. You might get a little chop, come onto the bow of the boat and slow you up, or come in just a little head on the stroke. So it's really critical that the boys are alert and ready to ping it as soon as you call buoy.
Yes, that's where coming into stroke, he's really got to work with Neil on his call to really nail that first hit into the can to actually get that boat to spin. Then I suppose it's up to the boys on the other side to have some good long strokes to get that boat around, and then get back into time as we punch out.
Yeah, as a bowman, that's certainly our focus in the turn, is to probably make it our longest 2 strokes of the whole race.
On the bow side as well, I find that they're probably my 2 heaviest strokes that I try and take out of the race. Probably more so, probably 6 strokes. I generally think that out of the can, that's the start of your race then. Like, you're going for home, so you're laying it all on the line, and that's when you're sort of emptying the tank. What do you lads reckon?
Yeah, empty it.
Empty
Empty it right out now. It's all about a race plan. You got to be, set yourself ready for that run home. I suppose you go on to your racing out. You've got your different stages through your race, and I suppose that's prepping yourself for your race home. Once you turn that can, you're in a different mindset. Your rates are different on the way home. The load's different because you're not actually going against the swell, you're going with the swell, so all your rates are different. You actually, it's resetting yourself sort of for that way home on the can as you come back out of it. It's a fine tune where if you do back off when you're running that run, that little bit, and not hold on for that last couple of strokes on that run, that's pretty much where it's going to set you up for that next runner to come through. And I think that's where we actually hit it pretty spot on. I think we just held on that little bit longer driving that run, which gave us that little bit of momentum and a little bit further in front to actually take advantage of the next swell that actually came through. I think where the crews, if they lost it a little bit on that run, they weren't in that same position to actually take that next runner and make it work. Actually, yeah.
You tend to notice over the weekend, out of all the A crews, that basically the top 10 A crews, when a run comes underneath them, they hunt it until it's dying, till it completely dies out underneath them. The other half of the field, they sort of get on the run and then they think that they can sit long, and it's sort of, I don't know, in A's you just can't let it slip.
You don't actually train a lot for SLEWS, so it bites on the ass. The boys are laughing at me. Oh, it's one of those things. It's I think that one there, it caught us off guard a little bit because I was a bit hesitant to row the crew and row out in front of it, which we should have probably done. So we took a couple of strokes and then backed off, where we probably should have just belted it out in front of it. But sometimes you second guess yourself a little bit. That's part of racing, and there's going to be a lot of times in your rowing career that, you think, wow, I second guessed myself there, and, it happens, and you just try not to do it to your rowers too often because otherwise they replace you.
We don't slew in training, we just save that for race day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last, I think, 7 or 8 years, I think we've hit that podium we've had the bronze medal, I think, for the last 6. And it's good to actually to knock that over and get on top of that, on the top of the podium there this time around.
Yeah, well, look, we haven't really had a chance to celebrate with the club with everything going on with the current situation, but it does make you proud to bring it back to your local community. Neil's as Batemans Bay as you can get. You know, he's front and centre in the main street down there with his fish and chips. The rest of us are all born and bred Batemans Bay and Moruya. So it is special to bring it back, not just to the bay, but to the Shire.
To the Shire, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more so for Wayno, our stroke. During the fires, he lost a fair bit. So, so for him it was something good to take out of it, I suppose, over the last couple of months. And, put a smile on the big fella's face.
And a bit of a wild year to finish the last carnival that we had. It's a shame we couldn't get to Aussies and kept it rolling on. We thought we had a pretty good chance there, and to actually, to finish with a gold, it was good. It was a good feeling to bring back to the community.